in terms of answer writing, I think you also implemented the 3-paper strategy.
I wanted to push myself. So I wrote 3 papers in a day.
How was your experience with CABA?
I have to give a lot of credit to you, sir. CABA was huge boost.
How was your experience with MTS out here?
Mains is completely about creativity and like a lot of...
And I think it's a strategic preparation.
Strategic, sir.
Hello everyone. Today we have with us Kiran Kamate, who has secured rank 53. He's a Karnataka topper of UPSC CSE 2025. This was your 6th attempt, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me briefly about your journey?
So firstly, very relieved that it's over, and it's over in a positive sense.
Positive sense.
So very happy with that. This was my 6th and final attempt.
Right.
So I started preparation in 2020 March.
Okay.
So that was my first attempt.
You graduated in which year?
2018, sir.
2018.
So thereafter, I actually diverted a bit and did 1 year of GATE coaching.
Okay.
Got IIT Guwahati, but I could not get the course I wanted. So I just shifted to engineering services.
Okay.
So again, due to some other factors, I left it. Then thereafter, in 2020 March, I started with civil services preparations.
Preparation. Okay.
Yes, so
how many attempts so far?
So six attempts.
6 attempts.
This 2025 was my 6th
How
and
many
last
interviews?
attempt. 2 interviews, 24 and 25.
When was the last interview? 24.
24. Sir.
Okay. So it's a consecutive interview.
Consecutive interview and 3 mains. Sir.
3 mains.
So 22, 24, 25, 3 mains.
You improved almost 100 marks
100
in
and
written score
yes.
from last mains to this.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. You're also a working candidate.
Yes, sir.
You're also a married man.
Yes, sir.
So how do you manage all this in your preparation?
So not actually difficult, sir. In the coming with respect to job, I think it gave a lot of financial independence. So that baggage of being dependent on parents for financial aspects.
And also there is a security also.
Yes, sir. Sense of security. So that gives a lot of freeway in your mind, like you go all guns blazing. Now you don't have to worry about the financial
What if
aspect.
it doesn't happen?
Yes. And you also have something to fall back. So all your focus is, apart from your work, is completely on UPSC, sir. So that has helped me.
And marriage has been a positive force.
Very, very much. I think I can consider myself very unlucky in the first 4 attempts. I think with coming of
so this is your wife's luck also.
Definitely, sir. She's been very lucky. Yes.
No, I've seen your Instagram page and the kind of videos also.
Yes, sir.
Right. It's really nice to see that.
Yes.
Right. So talking about your UPSC preparation, what have you learned from 2020 to 2026?
Sir, long journey, but I think initially I've done self-study in the initial years. Later I've joined a lot of test series and value addition courses here at NEXT IAS as well. So my learnings were like we have to keep our resources very limited, revise a lot, and then also focus on value addition in the later years.
Right.
Because what happens is the basic knowledge everyone's now, even the first timers or second timers, they're also of writing very good answers. So now if we have to stand out, clearly we need value addition.
Right.
So that should come from a CABA and a lot of newspaper as well.
Right.
Yes.
You told me a number 953.
Yes.
What is that number?
So that was actually inspired by your previous year video with Rangamanju, year 24 that year, Karnataka topper. So he mentioned that he had written around 850, 900. You had made a rough calculation. So that was my last attempt. So when I saw that he had written over 800 answers, so that motivated me.
You decided.
Yes. So if someone actually has humanly done it,
it's possible.
It's possible. So I made sure I have to write a little more than
what Rangamanju has done.
So I wrote
last year
900.
Rangamanju is Karnataka topper. This year you are the Karnataka topper.
So I think that's the mantra for
next year's Karnataka topper has to write
1,000 answers.
1,000 answers.
Definitely. Right. So that's the story behind 953. Right. So thanks to you and Rangamanju.
No, I think it's all your work.
Yes.
So what is a typical day for you in terms of preparation?
So the first 3 years I've prepared completely full time, sir. So then I used to read around 10-11 hours. But since the last 3 years, it has been with work. So I had to manage with I had to reorient. So post my office timings were around 10 to 5:36. So thereafter I used to come to home, freshen up, and straight away head to library.
So how many hours you were able to get during a working day?
A working day, like during the lunch break, I used to manage somehow 40-45 minutes. And if there was not much work, usually we used, because it's a public works department, the government sector, a lot of work was there. But there also I would manage another
Do you use your commute also to study?
Yes, sir. I used to travel through metro, so 30 minutes there. So I used to listen something,
to news and everything.
yes, news and
Right.
that.
Did you get leave between prelims and mains?
Yes, sir. I applied for loss of pay for
Okay.
3 months between the prelims and mains. Then came to Delhi this time.
So this was the first time you came to Delhi for preparation?
Yes, my first time in Delhi with respect to UPSC was actually the last year interviews.
Okay.
That was the first time I saw OR, and that was the first time I came to
So
Delhi.
you saw the kind of competition? out
Competition, yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
there. And you said you have 4 roommates?
4 roommates, yes, sir. This time during the mains, we came, 5 of us came to Delhi, sir.
Right.
And we made a room in Karol Bagh, and 4 of us are in the final list.
4 in the final list,
yes.
and all from Karnataka?
All from Karnataka.
So I think 50% of Karnataka's result is from that room.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
No, not 50%, but a substantial percentage
yes,
of Karnataka
yes.
result is from that
Yes,
room.
sir.
Right. So during the mains preparation, between prelims and mains, what was your daily schedule like?
Between prelims
And mains, you were not working.
Yes,
you were
sir. Yes,
continuously
sir. I
preparing.
have taken leave. So that time around 7:30, I used to come to my study room. Around morning 9:30, 10, I used to complete first session.
Right.
And after breakfast, I used to read 2 newspapers. One, The Hindu.
So what is 7:30 to 9:30? What do you do?
Like one GS subject, sir.
Okay.
So which is whichever the subject was there
So
for
that was writing
test.
or reading?
Reading, sir. Writing would always happen at the end of the day.
End of the day when you are tired and
Yes, and I would push
not
myself
focused.
to write more.
Right.
Yes, sir. So, and I used also, it would help me to write in a very tired state of mind. So
Right.
that would ultimately help me
You
in the
trained
mains.
in that
Yes.
way.
So that was one thing, sir. So 2 newspapers thereafter.
That would take how much time?
Around 1.5 hours, sir. 45 minutes each.
Right.
Thereafter, if there was any test, I used to go and write my test.
Did you have a daily answer writing schedule?
Yes, sir. That was
End
at
of the day.
night, end of the day. Like I used to write, I actually would write 7 to 8, sir.
Right.
I never managed to write 10.
10.
So I'll
But
be
7 to 8 is a 1 hour.
1 hour, sir.
An hour.
Exactly 1 hour.
Right.
I
80
would give
marks.
myself, yes, 1 hour, and I used to write 7 answers.
Answers.
So, and also second half of the day, I allotted it to the PSI, my optional subject.
Right. You have done well in optional this year.
Yes, sir. 275.
275.
Last
I
year
think
it was
it's among
250. So
250.
25 marks jump.
Jump in
Yes,
that, right?
yes.
And so in terms of answer writing, I think you also implemented the 3-paper strategy.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell about that?
So, like typically we have to write 2 papers. So what I wanted to do was, I wanted to push myself. So I wrote 3 papers in a day.
Right.
And
that's a trend that we are seeing. We are also pushing for that.
Yes, sir. I think a lot of toppers last year also have mentioned it. So that is one thing I did, and I did a 2 iteration of such.
3 papers.
So
a
3
day.
papers, 3 papers.
Right.
So that
How
was
exhausting was it?
very exhausting, sir. Like that's 9 hours of
9 hours of
writing
writing.
and 2 hours break.
Right.
So like you start your day and directly end up in bed, sir.
We had a topper, I think he was last year 42. He said the day he writes 3 papers, he'll order from Zomato.
Yes.
Right. He has to celebrate that day.
Yes, sir.
Right?
I used to go back from test center while going to room. I used to eat something very nice, reward
Nice,
myself.
and then go back and
yes,
sleep.
sir. Reward myself.
9 hours of writing is...
Yes, yes.
Because a lot of people don't realize the amount of effort that goes into getting a good rank.
Yes,
Whether
sir.
it's 900, 850, 900 answers or 3 papers a
3
day.
papers a
Right?
day, yes.
People underestimate what people do to
Yes, sir.
achieve this.
Yes. Actually, what happens is the other students look at our initial papers,
Right.
like topper copies, and they judge, like if this guy has got this rank, they
Right.
try to judge.
I think you have to look at what has happened in August, especially the and above papers and all,
Yes.
where how you write. Earlier we were discussing your papers, and I
Yes.
think I saw substantial difference between what you wrote in June and August.
Yes, sir.
Because that is also the phase where you take input, feedback, you
Yes.
see others' papers,
Yes, sir.
and it is
It's a
iterative,
continuous
process.
Continuous process. Yes.
So what did you do to improve 25 marks? It looks like a small amount of marks, but it takes a lot of effort. In PSIR, how did you improve 25 marks?
Again, lot of answer writings. Last year, it was more of reading, and just 2 papers I had written.
Okay.
In the 3 months gap, I had written just 2 tests.
2 tests.
So this time around, I wrote around 17, 18 tests.
To SIR.
So 2 test series I had joined.
SIR.
So I completed all of it.
And GS, how many full papers?
Almost 2 simulators and
I think
8
here you wrote
FLTs.
all.
Yes, all 8 FLTs.
Right.
Then 2
And you wrote GAT
simulators.
also.
And
Graded
GATs,
assessment test
yes.
also.
So that all added, plus the PYQs. So all added up with 953.
Okay.
Yes.
How was your experience with CABA?
I have to give a lot of credit to you, sir, first.
And you are our brand ambassador in Karnataka for CABA.
Definitely, sir. I have promoted CABA in Bangalore more than anyone else.
Right.
It's actually thanks to you, sir, because I had come to join the MTS FLTs.
Right.
So it was that time you suggested me to take CABA. I was completely
We only
unaware of
suggest,
it.
we don't force anyone to join any
Yes,
program.
yes,
We
sir.
advise, agar karna hai, to this will be a good thing to
And
do.
this was my last attempt.
Right.
So I had nothing
I think
to
that
lose.
is also another thing common between you and Rangamanju. Last attempt.
Last attempt.
And
Yes.
both of you are constantly saying, this is my last attempt. I have to do everything.
I have to do everything.
Right.
Yes. That was the state of mind we were in.
Right.
So CABA was huge boost. It was an absolute game changer for me.
How did you use it in the class? Like, what was your process? You attend a class, then you...
Yes, sir. I used to attend compulsorily the offline class.
Offline class.
Yes.
Why?
One sir, directly seeing
Sir,
Dipin sir and
in action.
listening to his jokes, humor, always spot on with his jokes. But at the same time, I think the intensity with which he taught, sir, I think he made us realize the importance of those topics.
Right.
So in online, we don't get to see the gravity of the
what is
seriousness of the topics. So even the kind of answer writing he made us
in
practice
the class,
in the
live
classroom.
plans,
Yes.
live writing.
So that made us ready for on the spot thinking. So that was actually very helpful. So, and even in the sense, the way he broke down topics, even the ones he had not covered. So when we are reading newspaper, even I am thinking in the same.
So your
lines.
mind is
Yes.
also trained to look
in
at
the
things like
CABA
that.
lines. Yes,
Right.
sir.
And how did you use it in the answers? What was your process? Now you attended the class, you made notes, and what was your revision process and how did you because earlier when we were looking at the answers, we were seeing a lot of keywords.
Keywords. Yes.
I think there was one AI job loss.
AI job loss growth. Yes.
Job loss growth, right?
Jobless growth to job loss growth.
Jobless
Yes,
growth to
yes,
job loss
yes,
growth, right?
Yes.
So a lot of interesting things you pick up from the class. How do you ensure that, because I think one observation one of the toppers said about Dipin sir's class is that, it is only useful if you can bring it into your answers.
Yes, sir.
So how did you bring it into your answers?
So first thing first, CABA notes are extremely exhaustive. So it's impossible to replicate without enough revisions. So you might like it, enjoy it while attending the class. But if you're trying to put it in paper, it's very difficult.
Right.
So repeated revisions.
How many
important.
revisions?
So I did 3 revisions. So each time was like I used to condense it.
Right.
And by the time the 3rd revision, I almost like ended up knowing where are the facts.
No, if you have to write 10, 15 data points in an answer, you have to know everything.
Know everything.
Everything.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So that was the process. So lot of revisions.
Lot of
for CABA.
revisions. And post-test, what was your process? What do you do after you have done a test, after evaluation?
So this time around, I took the reviews, the comments made very seriously.
Right.
Some of which I'm not like agreeing also,
Right.
but still I would
It's a
take up
perspective.
seriously. Yes, it's a perspective. So I ended up taking them seriously. Second is I would not immediately try to evaluate my own answers. I would give a gap of at least 1 or 2 days.
That's
and
very
then,
interesting.
Yes, then relook at my answers.
Right.
So I think the state of mind we are in on and the new learnings that we have because of the newspaper readings and the extra other material. So we have a completely new way of looking the same answers.
Right.
So now I'm in a more objective way of analyzing my own answers. So this was
So you took a different color of pen and started
yes,
making notes.
Yeah, this was something I did. I took different color pen and jot down extra additional points.
What more you could do?
What more I got. And that itself would be my revision material. Yes.
And I'm sure you would have experienced similar questions coming in UPSC.
Yes, sir. Like, to be frank, in CABA, it has helped me more even in PSR as well, sir.
PSIR also.
The 6 phases of Indian foreign policy. That was the first topic Dipin sir actually taught us. And it reflected directly in the
we've heard a lot of
paper.
PSIR students use sir's
Yes.
content in the
Yeah,
PSIR
a lot of
paper.
my friends were envious because CABA helped me
In
because
PSIR
of
also. PSIR also.
So, yes, sir.
Right. Now, did you rewrite some of these answers?
Rewrite, yes, sir. Like at least mentally, yes. If not in a physical manner, but I used to go again, go back to my answers, have a relook, and see it from a different perspectives.
Right.
Yes, and also use ChatGPT for validation.
Right.
So this is something I also did differently this time.
And another thing that we observed was that there were a lot of diagrams in your paper.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of graphs, a lot of
Graphs.
Right.
Yes.
And I think you have one of the highest marks in paper 3 this year, 99.
Yes, 19. Yes, sir.
Right. I think it's more than rank 2, 3.
Yes, sir. Again,
rank 3, 4 scores, I think 99 is very high. Right?
Okay, sir. And even I made 21 marks jump in GS3.
21
so
marks.
78 to 90.
What all you have done?
So again,
other than CABA?
Yeah, CABA, again, the visualizations.
Right.
So in terms of data which we mentioned, this time around I made it and showed it in terms of bar graphs and pie charts.
Right.
So this visual effect helped me, sir. And it also makes the work of the evaluator
And I think one
easy.
more thing I have noticed about your paper is that at least one part of the answer you had gone for a schematic approach.
Yes, sir.
So that increased the number of points. And it also ensured space management and time management.
Yes, sir. So both in terms of volume, density, as well as the quality of answers. So I managed both. In my previous attempts, I was more focused on the quality of points.
Right.
So even if I would just write 4-5 points, good points, I would end up finishing this time I would stretch it and write more number of points.
In 10 markers and 15 markers in paper 3, how many points would you have written?
So for 10 marker, around 15 plus, and 20 and 15 marker around 22, sir.
22.
Yes.
Right. And how many of this would have been substantiated?
With examples like 50, I made it points. I actually asked even Dr. Sachin. So he said it's something that individual to individual it varies, but I arrived at 50%. Right. So if I write 10 points, at least 4 to 5 points I would.
And I think one more thing that we discussed was that sometimes we don't write things we know because we assume that yes,
sir. This is something I did this year, sir.
Right.
Because even if it is
obvious,
most obvious, well-known fact, I would end up writing it on paper. So I think that also adds to the volume of
value addition.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Introduction conclusions were pre-prepared?
Absolutely not. So I actually, we were discussing again, because of the consistent newspaper reading,
right,
a lot of introduction and conclusions were like internalized. So I didn't prepare separately for them. So if any topic on agriculture came, so because of a lot of articles in the newspaper, I would to just directly write my own introduction and conclusions.
How was your experience with MTS out here? Main test series.
Yes, I took the FLT, sir.
Right.
So right from the day
I landed in Delhi.
Yes, sir. So I wrote the first test.
I think we met after 1 day or 2 days of landing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 7th of June.
You were referred by Sachin.
Yes, sir. Referred by Sachin. Yes, sir. Right. And you asked me to join the FLT, is it?
Right.
So
because my logic was that you are somebody who appeared for interview last year.
Yes.
So you only needed an improvement. You don't need to warm up.
Yes, sir.
You're already warm.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So actually that was also a good value addition. So FLTs did.
And we did a lot of discussions on how to improve answer writing.
Yes, sir.
On my TV,
yes.
We discussed answers.
So that was again, you compared and showed some of the highlights of other topper copies.
Right.
Well. So
because I think unless you show people what, they don't believe it.
Yes.
You have to see how it is being done.
Yes.
And then you realize that I can also do.
Yes.
Right. It's just about believing that.
Yes. Mains is completely about creativity and like a lot of.
And I think it's a strategic preparation.
Strategic, sir. Right. A lot of strategy in it goes in. So I think value addition, toppers copy, rigorous answer writing all comes in.
All comes together, and that is how you improve
marks.
25 marks in optional and in GS3.
Yes.
Right. Now coming to interview, this year you have 195 in your interview. Yes. How much was it last year?
171, sir.
171, yes. Right. What did you do for interview this year?
So actually, to be honest, nothing different, but my interview was little different this year. Last time it was more DAF based.
Okay.
This year it was.
They asked you about Belgavi
dispute.
Right.
That was the only question where I had a prepared answer. Rest all it
you
was
you
commonsensical. Yes, sir.
Right.
That was the only expected question. Rest all it was more commonsensical, on the spot, and ethical, situational based questions.
Right.
So I was actually not very confident when I left the rooms.
Right.
So I very reluctantly ended up saying thank you and just left the room. But Now 195 is actually very
I
happy
remember
with.
you asked me strategy after interview. Right.
Yes, I gave my mock here and I met you and I asked you, so this is my last attempt. What shall I do? I don't have to prepare prelims as well. So you said, are you a religious person? I said yes. And do you believe in God? I said yes. Then the only thing you can do is puja part.
Puja
So
part.
I did that as well, sir.
Right.
So
I think
ended
God's
up with
listen.
God's grace. Yes, they listen. And AR 53.
Right.
Yes.
What did you do for screen addiction? Because I think this is one problem that a lot of people have. What was your strategy towards screen addiction?
I was actually, I didn't uninstall any of the social media apps,
Right.
even from the earlier attempts as well. I feel the more you try to detach from it, you get more.
Did you
come
have
around
a process like, I'll only pick up the phone?
Yes, sir. At the end of the day, I used to use for around 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
This was
Rest of
something
the day
I did.
you will keep the phone
Yes,
away.
yes.
Right.
Even if I want, I never had to use it, sir.
Okay.
So back of the mind, I knew at the end of the day, I'm anyways going to use it for 20-30 minutes.
Digital notes or physical notes?
Mix of both, sir. For current affairs, it's usually digital, but rest all it is physicals.
Physical notes.
Yes.
Okay. And if you want to give some suggestions for, because you are someone who appeared for prelims without not much gap after last year's interview.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What suggestions will you give to people who are expecting to appear again after not getting a rank?
I actually have to highlight this because April 22, 2025 was the result last year. Now, prelims was in May 25th. So, in between, we also had the Karnataka State Public Service Commission mains paper.
Right. I remember that
Yes,
some
sir.
students had gone from
Yes, sir. So even I had to write that. So after that, I hardly had 15 days.
Okay.
Now, and also this was my last attempt.
Last attempt.
So
That is
that
scary.
was the biggest risk I had taken, sir. Biggest risk. A lot of my peers advised against it, but somehow I went with it. So my advice would be, sir, I stuck to the same logic, sir. All my 3 successful prelims have been where I have written a lot of tests.
Right.
So even with 15 days or 15-20 days left, I wrote around 35 tests.
That's more than 2 tests per
Yes,
day.
yes. So I've ended up doing that. Second is repeated revision of static portion.
Is there a certain areas which you focus on in prelims where you try to specialize?
Yes, sir. Like the core subject prelims economy were mandatorily, like I used to give more emphasis, probably another iteration of revision compared to the other subjects. And with respect to, and also I had made a PYQ analysis of ancient history and modern history. So there are some recurrent areas. So that I would highlight again and again. And with respect to current affairs, actually, because of the consistent newspaper reading, I didn't actually ended up reading any compilation or magazines as such.
Newspapers was the
Yes,
real thing.
yes, sir. So very comfortably I could.
Hindu or Indian Express?
Actually, I love both, sir, but actually both. I love.
There's no favorites.
Yes, no favorites. Because and I love personally. I love reading newspapers. So both. Yes.
What would you advise someone who went to interview, did not qualify, or got a rank but want to appear again? Would you suggest them to write immediate attempt or the next attempt?
Actually, wonderful question, because I feel that this exam is also about momentum, sir.
Momentum.
Because a lot of us feel that if we take a break, we would end up preparing more exhaustively and then end up with a good rank. I think that may
Momentum
work,
is important.
but momentum would be lost, sir. So also my own case, sir, I wrote 2022 mains and 23 I could not clear the prelims as well.
And were you able to utilize that year?
I utilized that year, sir. But 24 when I wrote my mains, again I had to build from scratch the mains preparation after prelims.
18, 20 months from one attempt
Yes,
to next.
yes.
That's like a fresh attempt.
Fresh attempt. Now 25 mains, because it
You are
was
writing
just,
consecutively.
because there was momentum, I ended up writing it actually. I had a lot of foundation already built. Now all I had to do for the next 2.5 months was analysis and validation. So that gave me a lot of jump in the marks, actual marks.
Use of AI in preparation. Where do you stand?
So limited but very helpful.
Very
Yes.
So are you confident with respect to the value addition?
Yes, sir. Again, like it has helped, especially with respect to in terms of data points, PSR validation.
Arguments, I think it has been
Arguments
good,
has
but
been
data
very
you have to
good.
verify.
Data we have to verify because that's why data I always use the official government data sets.
Because data hallucination is a
Yes,
big
sir.
problem.
Yes, sir. So for the same topic, the AI will give us 4 or 5 different data sets. So that is something which happens. So that is why official data sets from the government. But with respect to arguments, yes, AI does helps.
So this journey is over, this phase of your life. Now it's a new phase,
Yes.
being an officer, right? Congratulations on securing rank 53.
Thank you,
and wishing you a great career ahead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
talking to us.
Thank you, sir.